Hello and welcome to this tutorial for LEGO The Hobbit Restricted Any %. This category is one of the most exciting and competitive categories in LEGO speedrunning right now, and has seen multiple minutes of world record development just in the past couple of months alone. It also showcases a wide variety of tricks, with new ones being found regularly at the moment. In this video, I will outline the rules of this category as well as the route, main tricks and techniques used in speedruns of this category. In later videos, the hamster will go through each of the individual levels and point out where those individual techniques are used. So first off, what are the basic rules of restricted any %? Well, the main objective of an any % run is to start from a new game and beat the last level as quickly as possible. But in restricted any %, there are a couple of extra rules added. You must play the game with your FPS limited to 60, and a technique called horse clipping, where you use a horse to get out of bounds in the overworld, is also banned. You're also required to show that you are in fact playing the game on 60 FPS. There are two ways you can do this. The first way is to go into the options menu in-game, and under video settings show that your refresh rate is 60 Hz and your vertical sync is on. You can do that before the run starts or at the end of the run. The second way is to have an in-game FPS counter in the corner of your screen through the whole run. If you are using the Steam version of the game, this can be done by going into Steam settings and turning the FPS counter option on. There are also other standard rules for this game, so if you are unsure if something is allowed or not, please make sure you check out the rules on the speedrun.com page linked in the description. There are also two sets of subcategories on the leaderboards. The first of these is whether or not you run the game without using the No-Cut 5 cheat code. The No-Cut 5 cheat code is a code that you can enter into any save file, and it allows almost all cutscenes to be skipped on the first playthrough, even if you exit that save file. Normally you have to watch the entire length of the cutscene the first time you see it. This makes the run significantly quicker, so a lot of runners prefer to use this cheat code, hence why it's a separate category from not using the cheat code. So if you're using the cheat code, there is the No-Cut 5 subcategory, which is what you enter your runs to on the leaderboards. If you don't use this category, or don't use this cheat code, then you enter the original subcategory on the leaderboard. There's also a second set of subcategories, and that's the solo or co-op variable. LEGO games in this game is designed to be able to use two players at the same time. Hence the co-op variable, where two players work together to beat the game as quickly as possible, so there's two people, one controlling each character. The solo subcategory is a little bit more complicated. As in LEGO games, it's a commonly used strategy that's called 1P2C, which stands for one player, two controllers. This means that you can use two controllers and control both characters at the same time in the game, as long as it's only one real-life person controlling both characters. For more information on how this works and some of the possible ways and techniques that you can do this, check out this video by Frost, which is linked in the description. So with all the rules out the way, let's have a look at the run itself. The timing for the run starts on the first frame the first level starts to show, after the opening cutscene is either skipped or finished. From there, you then beat the first level, which is known as Greatest Kingdom in Middle-earth, or GKME for short. And after the level complete screen, the game spawns you into the game's overworld, which is a smaller version of Middle-earth. You spawn in with Frodo and Sam. From here, the game intends you to go to start level 2 by entering a trigger, but instead we're not going to do that. Instead, you make your way all the way over to the High Fells. Normally do this by going out of bounds. Now once you're at the High Fells, which is another spot in the overworld, you perform a precise jump which hits a door left in by the developers that takes you to the last room of the 13th level. Completing this level then tricks the game into thinking you have completed all of the levels beforehand, like you would if you played through the game normally. So it sets you in the normal position that you would be after you complete level 13. And from here you can then go on complete level 14, which is the Necromancer, level 15, which is on the doorstep, and level 16, the last level, Inside Information. You complete those in order, and then the game is beaten. Timing for the category ends when the cutscene starts playing after the last level, Inside Information, has been completed. So that's the overview of the route, but of course with the variety of tricks in the game it's nowhere near as simple as just that. So here are some of the common tricks that you will see a lot in the run. The first trick is called hover flying. In LEGO The Hobbit, when you have two small characters and press the action button when they're near each other, it is possible for those characters to join and connect and do what we call buddying up. This happens in two ways. They either stack on top of each other, call that a vertical buddy up, or they like hold hands next to each other, which is what we call a horizontal buddy up. In this state they move as one unit and their actions are slightly different. If you press the attack button while in this state, the characters will spin forwards in whatever direction they are facing. You can then do this off a ledge, and if you're holding no direction and keep on mashing the attack buttons, you're chaining the spins. The characters will fly infinitely forwards, even though there's no floor underneath them, and not lose any height, so you're effectively hovering above the ground. You can then adjust the direction of this fly by tapping a direction at any time during the attack animation, as long as you are back to holding no direction once the animation ends and when the next attack animation starts. This is used to skip multiple sections in levels, as well as a large amount of movement on the overworld. The second trick is launches, and these also involve the buddy up mechanic. The standard way to do this is to make the characters buddy up while there is a certain object between them. Then from there, one of two things happen, depending on the object in question. Either you will immediately get a launch straight away from the character, or you will have to mash the jump button to be able to get the launch. This varies for each launch, and there's also different setups for which character picks up the other character and stuff, so make sure you know the setup for each launch, because each one is different. Also, you can do another technique known as spin launches in some places. This is where you get a horizontal buddy up, has to be horizontal, and then stand in certain spots, and if you either rotate the joystick or kind of alternate up, right, down, left on a keyboard, then that forces the characters to spin, and that spinning action will generate a launch sometimes. So that's all for the basic rules and tech for LEGO The Hobbit Restricted Any%. I hope you enjoyed watching and learned a bit about the game. Thank you.